from whom all blessings flow.
Good morning. How's everybody? Annie, excuse me, had a powerful experience here at All Blessings Flow on Friday, and she wanted to talk about it, and we talked about how best to do that, and she kind of falls apart when she's up here trying to speak. And
I will try, but if my voice fades away or I collapse or I start crying, then I'll hand it over to him.
I'm back up.
And pretend that he is me, okay? We'll see how this goes. Anyway, all right, I'm just going to read this. With our mission in All Blessings Flow, I'm constantly saying it's a God thing. Well, this is one that I feel led to share with you. We are not officially open on Fridays. However, sometimes one or two of us come in to get a few things done, but at completely random times of the day. Well, this Friday ended up being a day when 3 of our volunteers were there at the same time, and it ended up being a significant time in the life of someone in need. Evelyn pulled up to our door and saw the close sign and was about to drive away when she noticed Richard sitting in his truck outside. She walked over to him and asked if she could get a wheelchair, so he brought her inside the warehouse. Miss Yu was sitting at his desk and asked Evelyn to sit down as she told him her story. She shared with him that her house had burned down 2 nights ago and that she and her family were now staying at a local hotel. Evelyn is 67 years old and cares for her mother-in-law, her adult son, and her husband, a double amputee. Evelyn told Miss Yu that she and her family had been awakened in the middle of the night by their dog barking. She kept yelling at the dog to be quiet, and when it wouldn't calm down, she went and opened the bedroom door and discovered the house engulfed in flames. Evelyn managed to get her mother-in-law and son outside to safety. Unfortunately, she didn't have time to get her husband into his wheelchair and ended up dragging him out to pull him out. Sadly, most of the house was lost. The garage and all the vehicles were lost, but they were very blessed to be alive. Evelyn and her family were set up in a local hotel, but are now trying to get items they desperately need. She came to ABF in dire need of a wheelchair for her husband as well as her mother-in-law. While Evelyn was talking, she mentioned how her husband's electric scooter was also burned up and asked if we had any that he could have. Pete, who works on and handles all of our power chairs, also happened to be there, so he talked with her and replaced batteries in one that was available and got it ready for her husband. Richard is our primary delivery man, and since he was at the warehouse as well, he was able to deliver the power chair and 2 wheelchairs to their hotel room within hours. I know that our mission helps so many people in need every week, and many stories will break your heart. This one is one of those stories, but it is also one of those extraordinary God moments that I want to explain. As I mentioned, we are not officially open on Fridays, yet 3 of our volunteers were there at the same time. Richard had just gotten to the warehouse, but sat outside in his truck to finish his lunch. That was the only reason why he was in the truck. When Evelyn arrived and saw that we were closed, she would have driven away and would have not received the items her family needed had God not placed Richard outside at that very moment. Miss Yu usually comes to the warehouse to retrieve voicemails and return calls each day, but is usually gone before noon. This day, he was later than usual leaving and was still at his desk when Evelyn arrived. When she sat and talked to him, she unburdened her heart and cried while telling him her story. She needed someone to talk to. Miss Yu was excellent at lending an ear and sharing words of encouragement, so God delayed his usual schedule and made sure that Miss Yu was still at his desk to give Evelyn the emotional support she needed. Pete is rarely in the shop on Fridays, but he had been riding his bicycle and had stopped by the warehouse to cool off inside and work on repairing a few items while he was there. After speaking to Evelyn, he found a power chair that would work for her husband, but it didn't have batteries. Pete had recently received 2 new batteries from our good friends at Central Battery and was able to install them to get the power chair ready for her. So not only did God use Central Battery to give us the right batteries that she would need, but he also placed Pete at the warehouse at precisely the right time. Then back to Richard. Since he was there at the warehouse, he ended up being able to deliver the power chair to Evelyn's husband since she had no other way to get it to him. Some may think that these are coincidences, stars that aligned, or a gift from the universe, but for believers, there is no other answer but God. This
is the part that matters. I'm always in awe of the work he does in this mission. He brought together 3 of our wonderful volunteers at just the right time to help Evelyn and her family. I'm grateful to all of our volunteers who serve as God's hands and feet. I'm so blessed to witness all the God moments that happen each day. There's a reason why we decided on the name of our organization. I lift prayers of thanksgiving every day for the many people God has helped through this mission, and I will forever say, praise God, from whom all blessings flow.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow.